Finally, Harrison Gwanishu was able to meet the bail conditions and he has been released. I have actually waited for this moment for so long because I have a lot to say regarding this Harrison's issue. This issue actually opened my eyes to the fact that Nigerians are not ready. It is one thing to desire a change, and it is another thing to be ready for the kind of change we desire as a people. And with this issue, I can say boldly that we are not ready. We are not ready. This issue opened my eyes to a lot of things. It opened my eyes to the fact that most Nigerians are not reasonable. The reasonable ones are very few. And that is the reason the change is not forthcoming. Because we are not speaking with one voice. We are divided. That is, by the way, talking about Harrison, he has been released and he finally put out a statement. In that statement, that whole write-up, there's a particular paragraph that does not sit well with me. When I read that paragraph, I was not comfortable. I said, no, you should not do this. The people who trust you, the people who patiently waited for you to come out and clear the air are not fools. So you should not consider them fools or try to gaslight them with this statement. It is wrong. I'm going to read that particular paragraph out, and I will tell you why I'm disappointed in Harrison at this point. Because when this whole issue started, I tried not to talk about it. It was trending, and people were carrying different rumors here and there. Different narratives were being spread on social media. But I held back myself. I had a lot to say. But the reason I held back is because the person in question was with the police. There was no way he could clear the air. Although before he was arrested or before he submitted himself to the police, because he is claiming now that the police did not arrest him, he submitted himself to them. So before he submitted himself to the police, he actually tries to clear the air about the missing 5.4 million naira. However, he held back a lot of information in that video because according to him, he did not want to put out too much information about the way he operates. That would be him exposing his strategy to his enemies, who happens to be the kidnappers. So yesterday, he put out this statement. I am pleased to inform you all that I have been released from custody. Words cannot express how grateful I am for your support, especially considering that many of you had not yet heard my own side of what truly happened. For clarity, I was neither invited nor arrested by the police. This was what I said did not sit well with me. As a law-abiding citizen, I voluntarily presented myself for investigation regarding the incident. At the moment, I have not been charged, as the matter is still under review by the Directorate of Public Prosecution. The reason I said this statement, this second paragraph, does not sit well with me is the fact that you are coming out trying to clear the air. You are not saying anything, but you are still trying to convince people that you were not arrested by the police. You submitted yourself to them, right? If the police did not find you guilty or wanted, they would not have kept you in their custody for 2 weeks. You are trying to create the impression that you were not arrested. You are trying to clean up your image. But bro, you are not doing it the right way. You are not doing it the right way. You should not be seeking public validation at this point. For you to clean up your image if you were wrongly accused, this is not the right way to do it. Whether the police arrested you or not, whether you were the one who submitted yourself to the police, the fact remains that they would not have held you back for 2 weeks if they didn't find anything on you. If there was no reason to hold you back for 2 weeks, they would not have done it. And for you to have met bail conditions, it means you were arrested. You can present yourself to the police and still be guilty of the crime you are being accused of. So presenting yourself to the police does not make you innocent. It is not enough proof that you were innocent of what you were accused of. People commit crimes and present themselves to the authority. Presenting themselves to the authority does not mean that they were not guilty of the crime they committed. And for those of you who are claiming that Harrison Gwanishu does not owe the public any explanation, you are wrong. You are so wrong to think that he does not owe the public an explanation. This is someone who owns an NGO, a non-governmental organization. People contribute money to that NGO. People trust him. People believe in what he does. And you think he does not owe those people an explanation? Is that what you think? You are claiming that he did not steal public funds. Come on, let's be reasonable here. Someone who owns an NGO people contribute money to. People believe in what this person does. People who are not related to him by blood support him. They pray for him to succeed. And you are claiming that he did not steal public funds. It is just one family that is accusing him of stealing. It is not the public. How do you reason? How do you reason? And we are blaming the government, claiming that the government lack accountability. We are reasoning like this, and we are still claiming that the government lacks accountability. Do you know that what you do as an individual is just an example of what you would do by the time you occupy a public office? Do you know that? Do you know that integrity matters? And as an individual, if you cannot take responsibilities for your actions, if you cannot give accountability, by the time you become a public office holder, a president, a governor, a minister, or what have you, by the time you become that person, you would not be able to take responsibilities for your actions. You would lack accountability. Yeah. Accountability starts with an individual. And as an individual, if you cannot give account of what transpired, you cannot take responsibilities for your actions. You are giving money and you cannot account for what the money was used for. Something happened. You cannot explain yourself as to what happened, your contribution in whatever happened. You cannot clear your name beyond all reasonable doubt. You think by the time you become the president tomorrow, you would be able to explain yourself to the people you are leading? Hell no. Taking responsibilities for your actions starts with an individual. It starts with you as an individual, because what you do as an individual matters a lot. It tells a lot about what you would do by the time you become the president, by the time you become a governor, by the time you are entrusted with public funds. It matters. So it is wrong for those who think that Harrison Gwanishu does not owe the public an explanation. You are so wrong. We are not saying that he should come out and explain everything that is happening in court. No. At least, there are some things you should not say because the matter is in court. But it does not mean you should not come out and explain to the people who believe in you, the people who look up to you. Come out and explain to them. Don't say he does not owe the public an explanation. He did not steal public funds. Come on. What are you saying? What are you saying? Do you know that injustice to one is injustice to all? If he is dealing with a particular family and he succeeds in deceiving that family, he is going to deceive so many families out there. Do you know that? Harrison is not coming out to explain himself because VDM said so. No. He is not supposed to be told to do so. For his integrity, he should do it. In fact, he must do it. Because people trust him, people believe in him. I, for one, I did not say anything about this issue because I was waiting for him to come out. Like every other person, I would have jumped on the trending issue and made series of videos on the issue. But no, I did not do it. I didn't want to jump on it because it was trending. I needed facts. I cannot be speaking without facts. I could not speak without facts. And that was the reason I was patiently waiting for his release. Yeah. This is the first analysis I am doing on this issue. I was patiently waiting to hear his side of the story. I didn't want to go by the narratives on social media. So he owes people an explanation. Not because VDM said so. No. For his integrity. People look up to him. People trust him. People even contribute money to his NGO. He owes people an explanation. He needs to clear the air. And now he's beginning on a bad note. This is not the best way to clear the air. Claiming that you submitted yourself to the police, they did not arrest you, is not the best way. Because that is you trying to convince the public that you were not guilty of what you were accused of. Yet, you are not giving enough explanation. You are not explaining yourself enough. If you don't want to talk about it yet, it is fine. When you are ready to talk about it, talk about it. You are trying to convince us now that the police did not arrest you. You submitted yourself to them as a good citizen. So why did they keep you for 2 weeks if they did not find anything on you? Why did you have to meet a bail condition before you were released? Why? If they did not find anything on you, they wouldn't have kept you for 2 weeks. And the matter is now in court. So why were you held back for 2 weeks in the police custody? So if you want to clear the air, clear the air. If you don't want to say anything, be quiet until you are ready to do so. Nobody is forcing you to come out and say anything. In fact, nobody should force you to come out. It is something you should do for your integrity. If you value your integrity and dignity, you should come out and explain yourself without anybody asking you to do so. In all this, I blame the Nigerian police. In all this, I blame the Nigerian police. Because the new trend these days is that when they arrest a public figure, instead of putting out a statement as to why the person was arrested, what they found on the person, why they are keeping the person in their custody, so that the public would know, so that those who look up to that person would know what the person is capable of doing, they would not put out a statement. If the police had put out an official statement when Harrison Gwanishu was arrested, if they had put out a statement as to why he was arrested, why he was being detained, I don't think we would be here. We would not be here talking about Harrison trying to clean up his image without explaining anything to the public. So I blame the police because they were in the best position to let us know what was happening. Now the guy has come out, he's trying to clean up his image. And the people who follow him blindly, the people who cannot reason, are going to accept whatever he says, hook, line, and sinker. So even though he is lying, they would not know. They cannot think, they cannot reason. They cannot add one and one together. They just accept whatever they are being fed with. But if there were an official statement from the police when he was arrested as to what he did, why they kept him for 2 weeks, this guy wouldn't have come out and be thinking of how to gaslight the public. Because that is what he's doing. This is gaslighting. This is gaslighting. And it speaks volume. So could it be that all the allegations against him were right? When the police arrest a public figure, they should put out a statement so that the people who look up to that person as their mentor would not be misled. Because some of these public figures are on social media misleading people. What they do on social media is different from who they really are in reality. I'm not saying that Harrison is misleading people. Don't get me wrong. You and I know that so many public figures in Nigeria live a fake life on social media. What they portray or what they display on social media is different from who they are in reality. That is the more reason when any of them is arrested, the police should not hold back so that the public would know what they are capable of doing. So that the people who look up to them as mentors would not be misled, would not be deceived. Let us know what these people are capable of doing outside social media. It is very important. Harrison is out, and without explaining what happened, without saying anything, he's still claiming that he does not want to release enough information yet. But he wants us to believe that he was not arrested. He was innocent. And you were in the police custody for 2 weeks. You were innocent and you had to meet a bail condition before you were released. It is not adding up. Make it make sense. So does it mean that in Nigeria, when you are arrested or when you submit yourself to the police for investigations, even if you are not guilty, you have to bail yourself? Is that how the system works? So if I submit myself to the police for an investigation, for questioning, and at the end of the day, they found nothing on me, I'm as innocent as you can think of, I will still have to bail myself. I will still have to meet a bail condition before I can be released by the police. Is that what it means? I want to know. I want to know because that is what he's claiming. You were not arrested by the police. You submitted yourself to them. Good and fine. You are a law-abiding citizen. But at the end of the day, you were kept in detention for 2 weeks. Nothing was found on you, but you were in detention for 2 weeks. And before you regained freedom, you had to meet a bail condition. And you were bailed? Make it make sense. Someone should explain to me. Is that how the Nigerian police operates? So as a patriotic Nigerian, if I noticed some funny movements about someone living in my environment, and I decide to walk to a police station to explain to the police what I noticed about the person, that the person is a threat to the lives of the people living in that environment, does it mean that the police would hold me back and tell me to meet a bail term or a bail condition before I would regain freedom? Make it make sense to me, because that is what Gwanishu is claiming, that he was not arrested. As a patriotic Nigerian, he took himself to the police. Good and fine. Why did they have to detain you for 2 weeks? Why did you have to meet a bail condition before you were released? That is what I'm confused about. So as patriotic Nigerians, we should be careful. When we notice anything happening in our environment, we should not go to the police station, because we would end up implicating ourselves. We would be doing that at the detriment of our freedom. That is what it means. Mr. Harrison, I will tell you nothing but the truth. You say the people who are supporting you on this issue, most of them are not supporting you because they love you. Most of them are supporting you because VDM is their enemy. And for the fact that when you were arrested, he came out and said that he initiated your arrest, they bought the matter from him. They decided to carry this matter on their head, not because they love you, because they think you now have a common enemy with them, who happens to be VDM. So they are doing all this to fight VDM. They are not supporting you because they love you. Don't be deceived by the fake love you are getting on social media. They don't love you. They are just supporting you to pepper VDM. That is what they are doing. That is what they are doing. So be wise, be guided. If you don't want to say anything, keep quiet. But if you want to say something, then come out clean and explain things to the public, because you owe the public an explanation. Whoever is telling you that you don't owe anybody an explanation does not love you. You are not explaining because VDM wants you to explain. No, you are doing it for your integrity. You are doing it for your reputation, not because of VDM. So you have to apply wisdom. If you want to rebrand, apply wisdom. Do it with wisdom. If you go by what Nigerians are saying, most of them do not love you. Most of them who are supporting you are not doing it out of genuine love. They are doing it because they don't like VDM. Yeah. So be guided. You don't have to come out and gaslight the public. If you don't want to talk, don't talk. If you want to talk, talk. Nobody is saying you must come out now and talk. When you are ready to spill, come out and spill. If you are not ready, zip it up. Because this gaslighting you are doing is going to do you more harm than good. For now, this is what I have to say about this issue.